is enough said.
Does Jimmy Butler want out of the Miami Heat? Do the Miami Heat have a huge plan before the February 6th trade deadline? Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, guys? Your boy Ernest here. Back with another Miami Heat Talk video. Merry Christmas, Heat Nation. Hope you guys are having a beautiful holiday with your families, enjoying your time. Now together, we're going to go on another Miami Heat Talk adventure because we got a lot to talk about. First and foremost, as you see, got a brand new Miami Heat t-shirt. Thank you, little bro, for that. Chilling with my family, having a great time, opening presents. Bro, today has been a blast. I had a video prepped for you guys. I had something specific I wanted to talk about that was reported yesterday, and we got a bombshell. Earlier today, about like an hour and a half ago, it was reported by ESPN that Jimmy Butler prefers a trade out of the Miami Heat. I'm going to read this quote by ESPN. This was reported by Shams Charania. We all know Shams. He's the new Woj. So he reports that Jimmy Butler prefers a trade out of the Miami Heat ahead of its February 6th trade deadline. League sources told ESPN. ESPN reported in the inside press on December 10th that the Heat were willing to listen to trade offers for Butler and that Jimmy Butler wants a win-now contender in any deal. Butler has not formally requested a trade with the Heat, sources said, but is believed to be ready for his exit. The moment I saw that report by ESPN, I immediately thought, bullshit. No. Maybe I didn't want to accept it. Maybe I didn't want to believe it. Maybe I really didn't believe it. Because what happened back then with the whole beef between Shams and Bernie Lee, Jimmy Butler's agent, how Bernie Lee was calling out Shams, saying that Jimmy Butler wanted to go to specific teams. He basically called BS on it. But this is Shams. Shams is one of the most credible investigative journalists in the NBA, probably the most credible one. So if Shams reports something, you guys, I don't think it's going to be false. I think there's going to be some truth to it. And Shams later came out on ESPN First Take and basically said, I'm sticking by my word. I'm 150% sure that this is factual news. He said it was the most vetted report that he posted out there. That says something. So I started doing a little bit more investigating. It was also reported in Sleeper. It was all over Twitter. Ira Winderman posted about it. Barry Jackson posted about it. Everybody was talking about it. So before I got on this video, I wanted to read what everyone says. Now I'm going to read a report by Barry Jackson. Barry Jackson, just like Ira Winderman and Ethan Skolnick, these guys are connected directly to the Miami Heat. So when I hear news about the Miami Heat, I want to see what they post. Barry Jackson posted this, and I quote, with regards to Shams just reporting that Jimmy Butler prefers a trade, here's what I can tell you. 1, Jimmy Butler's camp was not commenting. 2, Jimmy Butler has been unhappy the team did not extend him. 3, Jimmy didn't attend Pat Riley's Christmas party, though he hasn't before. End quote. Barry Jackson also reported that Jimmy Butler has not demanded a trade and would play out the year here if the Miami Heat doesn't trade him, but would be fine with a trade as well after the Heat declined to give him an extension yet. End quote. So this all stems from the offseason, you guys, and we knew that this wasn't just roses and butterflies. We knew that there was going to be an issue between the Miami Heat camp and Pat Riley after the Miami Heat did not give Jimmy Butler that extension. And it was honestly just adding one more year to his deal. Was it really worth the Miami Heat not doing that, knowing that drama was going to come mid-season? And honestly, you guys, I don't think that this is drama. It doesn't seem like drama at all. It seems like that what Shams was reporting was true. Jimmy Butler is telling the Miami Heat, if you don't want to extend me, fine. If you want to keep me, fine. But I'm also down for a trade. Now, it was also reported by Shams that multiple teams had interest in trading for Jimmy Butler. The Dallas Mavericks, the Houston Rockets, the Golden State Warriors, the Phoenix Suns. And I have been posting all about that, you guys. If you haven't seen that, go back to my previous episodes. You'll see all the the thumbnails with Jimmy Butler on it. We talked about trades, we talked about rumors, we talked about even trade package scenarios for multiple teams. Now, I will say this, you guys. There was a report yesterday that came out about the Miami Heat potentially making a trade with the Phoenix Suns for Bradley Beal. And when I saw that, I'm sure I thought the same thing that the majority of Heat fans thought. No, thank you. Why Bradley Beal? You're giving up one of the best wing players in Jimmy Butler for a guy who's declining and also plays the same position and same way as Tyler Hero and Terry Rozier. It makes no sense for the Miami Heat to trade for Bradley Beal. But when you think about it, maybe it makes sense for a couple reasons. One, in order for the Miami Heat to actually trade Jimmy Butler, a lot of pieces need to fall the right way. Now, we've talked about trade packages before, you guys, so I'm not going to go into details. If you want to know that, and if you want to hear my thoughts on that, go back to the previous video that I posted. However, I will say this. Houston, Dallas, Golden State, these are three teams that don't have a player that has the exact same salary as Jimmy Butler. So they're going to have to get a little creative. They're going to have to add multiple players, throw in a young asset, throw in future first-round draft picks to incentivize the Miami Heat. Because Houston, Dallas, and Golden State will be competing to trade for Jimmy Butler. All these three teams can definitely use Jimmy Butler on their roster and will probably go after him in a trade. So it would be who offers the best package. So that's one option. But the chances of these teams sending multiple players, multiple assets, multiple draft picks for a guy who's on a player option next year, who can just opt out and leave them, I don't think these teams are going to make that sacrifice. Maybe Golden State, because they're going all in with Steph Curry. But I don't think any of them would actually do that. So the reason why the Phoenix Suns make sense, you guys, is because if Jimmy really wants out, if Jimmy really wants out from the Miami Heat can think, okay, let's just try to get something for this. Let's take Bradley Beal. Let's take maybe 1 to 2 future first round draft picks, whatever Phoenix can add. And that way, we just ride off into the season and see where we can go. Now, the other way something like that makes sense, you guys, you can also move Terry Rozier. Terry Rozier has not been playing because of a knee inflammation. This is nothing we saw. This is not an injury we saw. It was a little weird to me that Jimmy Butler and Terry Rozier missed the last game against the Brooklyn Nets. I thought it was a little weird. I get it. Jimmy Butler had the illness. It's something that's been going around. My daughters have had it, so that I get. And with Terry Rozier with the knee inflammation, I'm thinking this is a little weird. But these two guys, Jimmy Butler and Terry Rozier, can be on the trading block. Let's say Jimmy wants out. And guys, I don't want to trade Jimmy Butler for Bradley Beal. I really don't want to. But I understand it's a business. If Jimmy wants out, and if none of these teams like Golden State, Houston, and Dallas are willing to do that, I understand why the Heat would do it. But if you're trading for Bradley Beal and you're putting him on this roster, swapping Jimmy and Bradley Beal, it's not going to work for this team unless you move Terry Rozier and get another wing player. Get somebody that can fill in Jimmy Butler's role, a defensive presence type of wing. That way you can bring in Bradley Beal, have him come off the bench as your sixth man, as your primary scorer off the bench. I don't give a shit if he likes that or not. If he doesn't like it with that, he can waive his no trade clause and he can send him somewhere else. I'm cool with that. But Bradley Beal, that's the problem with his contract, you guys. He's not only making about $50 million for the next 3 years, he's got a no trade clause, which means you can't trade him somewhere unless he approves it. So I don't really see why the Miami Heat would trade for Bradley Beal. Now, like I said, and I know people are going to be in the comments, Ernest, you're crazy. How could you say that the Miami Heat should trade for Jimmy Butler? I ain't saying that. I'm not saying that I prefer Bradley Beal over Jimmy Butler. I'm saying that if this report is true, and that if Jimmy Butler eventually asks out from the Heat, then I would understand why they would make a trade with Phoenix if Houston, Golden State, and Dallas are not willing to give assets plus draft picks. You get what you can. But if y'all want me to be honest, he's not getting traded. This is all smoke. Until I literally see Jimmy Butler requesting a trade, I'm not going to believe this crap. This is all hearsay. This is probably something that was said out of context. You know how the internet is. So before we all freak out and panic, let's just breathe, wait, and see. But Heat Nation, I want to hear from you. Do you think this rumor is true? Do you think that the Miami Heat will move Jimmy Butler by the February 6th trade deadline? Or do you think he will stay with this Heat team? Do you want him gone? Do you want him to stay? Let me know in the comments your thoughts, you guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. We're pushing to 6,000 subscribers. Got my family here. I apologize for the noise in the background, you guys, but I had to get something done. I had to post this for you guys. Thank you so much for the support, and until next time, your boy Ernest out, and that is enough said. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Oh. Merry Christmas and happy holidays. Bam.